Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here, once again. Right, I'm in the middle of doing like a Little Nightmares Let's Play, and I think I said before, you know, the whether or not I would do any more Let's Plays would just be a total impulse, which it has been all this time, you know. I'm uploading it quite slowly, mainly because I chose a shite time to fucking do it, you know. Mario Odyssey came out at the weekend there, right? I've been quite distracted, you know, but I will finish it, I will finish it. Just expect a lot of, like, time between uploads, I guess, but mind you, if you've been watching this channel for the past year or so, what do you expect, you know what I mean? But, for now, see, I've actually been, like, playing with this idea of doing a video on Sonic Forces for a good while now, okay, because, well, big Sonic fan, obviously, and I'm very intrigued as to how this game will turn out, you know, like, it's not so much that I'm looking forward to playing it, because, yeah, I am looking forward to playing it, but I just want to know how's it going to be received, how are people going to react to it, because, I don't know if you guys have noticed, everybody is talking about Sonic Forces, okay, whether they are loving it or they are hating it, whether they are calling 4 seconds of gameplay too linear or something, I don't know, but it's unbelievable the amount of, like, just videos that you find of, like, people talking about it, and talking about it so strongly on either scale of the spectrum, you know? It's pretty crazy how much of an effect it is having, right? I would say more so than Mania, right? Sure, all the top buzz about Mania was about how great and nostalgic it was, but, and I don't want to say, like, I don't want to come here and say, like, its notoriety, or Sonic Forces notoriety, I should say, isn't somehow superior to what Sonic Mania had. I'm just saying that's kind of funny to me, quite frankly. But yeah, the whole game is like, well, pretty much the whole game's been like uploaded to YouTube at this point. We're not getting reviews until the day of the launch. Why, Sega? But from what I've seen, and I have seen a lot, not all of it yet, but I've seen a good deal, I think I'm gonna like it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it. And I'll probably do like a little video of it after it comes out. But there's one other thing I want to talk about today, and that is the publisher of the game, Sega. You know, my favourite game company, a company that, quite frankly, I talk about way too much on this channel because they've just invaded my mind like that, and I'm just so invested in what they do and stuff, and what they wear, more to the point, that, yeah, I just, it's why you're here, basically, is to hear me go on and on about Sega. And going about Sega today I will, because, like, again, all the build-up to Sonic Forces is making me think, oh man, like, Sega sort of needs this to be good or that. But I sort of think, but then I sort of thought to myself, actually, do they really? So I went on, like, Metacritic, and you can actually search by company on there. And I was actually very surprised to see that Sega has had a really good year, okay? They've released a good chunk of games which were all quite favourable in the general public, a lot of which I really fucking enjoyed. And yeah, I kind of want to just like talk about that, like not necessarily 6 games, but like 6 like things, I guess, that Sega's been doing in 2017 that I feel like garners a bit of merit, basically. Some stuff that I'm not going to talk about is, let's see, they released Total War Warhammer 2. I know absolutely nothing about both of those franchises, and the fact that they got a sequel, fair enough, but it reviewed well, you know, fair enough. Good on you, Creative Assembly, you know, I'll take another Aliens game, honestly, but, you know, Total War seems to be always work out well for you, so, well, 50% of the time, it gets a lot of hate sometimes at launch. I don't know, I don't follow it, but there you go, good on you. There was also like Endless Space 2, which was like this turn-based strategy game by Amplitude Studios, which Sega actually acquired just last year. Not played that, don't know anything about it. And I'm sure they also released a, you know, a Football Manager game. Take that for what you will. But I'm going to talk about pretty much everything else. I don't think I've missed out anything. I don't think, I'm not so sure, but whatever. Here we go. 6, we'll say games, I don't know. But you'll ask, actually it's because of this number 6 why I'm kind of like chucking about that expression, because number 6 on this list is actually the PC ports of Bayonetta and Vanquish, okay? These were games that were very much requested for PC release for a while. The Platinum Games sort of like relationship that Sega used to have with them is one of my favourite times as a Sega fan, period. You know, 2010, 2009 really, with Mad World, all the way up to like 2013, I believe it was, with Anarchy Reigns, maybe in 2012, not too sure, where they kind of mucked up the release of that game. Go look it up. And Platinum Games has kind of distanced themselves from Sega since, which is very unfortunate to me. But the Platinum Games is a wonderful developer, and Sega really like pushed those ports, okay? Like, you got like YouTube ads for Bayonetta, like everywhere, you know? And Vanquished as well, you know? I'm wondering, we could probably get like a PC port of Anarchy Reigns or something. Maybe not necessarily Mad World, definitely not Infinite Space, but again, it represents a wonderful time for Sega. And Platinum Games clearly put a lot of like effort into those PC ports. And even though they're technically like years old games, I don't care. They were both released in 2017 and re-released wonderfully. Way better than most remasters do, quite frankly. So, Bayonetta Vanquish is definitely number 6 on this list. So, with that said, we're going on to number 5 here. And number 5, this is a game, right, that I kind of started just recently, actually, and I was amazed at how fucking fun it was, okay? And this game also, I only got it because it came out and it was like mega cheap, you know? So I thought, oh well, I guess I'll pick that up. And that is this right here, Puyo Puyo Tetris. This is a crossover game between Puyo Puyo, obviously, and Tetris, obviously. I'm sure many people watching this video know what Tetris is. Puyo Puyo maybe not so much, but you basically, all you need to know, all I knew for the longest time was that Puyo Puyo is basically Tetris, Japan's Tetris. It's this ridiculously popular puzzle game, and that's pretty much all you need to know. And this game combines the two in an honestly ingenious way, because there's always been like a sort of versus element, at least with Puyo Puyo and Tetris as well to an extent. So in this game you'll like be fighting, you'll be playing Puyo Puyo, but your opponent will be playing Tetris or vice versa. And they also have my favourite thing, an ingenious like crossover where you're throwing down Puyo Puyo blobs and Tetris blocks, and that's the game. It sounds like no way that would fucking work, but it does. It's really addicting, and I was so surprised at it. So much so, because like before I even popped this in, I was experimenting with Puyo Puyo. In fact, hold on. Got to call attention to this right here. Sega 3D Classics Collection. I actually thought this came out in the UK in 2017 and I was going to include it, but it came out at the end of 2016, so I was like, oh well. But yeah, this has like Puyo Puyo 2 included in it. I also have the Japanese import on the Saturn there. And I was playing this game, every time I popped this game in, I was playing Puyo Puyo, you know? It was like, this Puyo Puyo is really fun, I should like try and get into more of these, and I actually only put this on, quite frankly, because I was waiting for Mario Odyssey, so I was like, I might as well give this a go, and it's one of the best, one of my favourite games this year, honestly. Very, very surprised. You can get it on PS4 and Switch. Highly, highly recommend it, especially at the price you can get. It's wonderful. So yeah, Puyo Puyo Tetris, definitely number 5 on this list. Number 4 is kind of a predictable thing, for me at least. Yeah. Hatsune Miku, Future Tone. I've completely brain-fired on the name there, because let me think, it's actually 2 games. It's Hatsune Miku Colorful Tone and Hatsune Miku Future Sound, I believe. And they kind of combined the 2 names to make Future Tone. Now, what is Hatsune Miku Future Tone? It is basically a compilation of hundreds, literally, like, I think the exact number is like 237, I think, songs from all over the series, which has been going on for like more than 10 years at this point. And yeah, they just put them all into a fucking download file and released it on the PS4 in 1080p 60 frames per second. If you've been a Vocaloid fan for as long as I have, to the point that some of the like really early songs feel flat out nostalgic, that's an awesome thing, okay? It's such a good value, quite frankly, as well. It was also the game that made me break my Season Pass virginity. Okay, I've never bought a Season Pass. I hate the idea of Season Passes. That's always been how I've felt. and I bought the fucking season pass for Hatsune Miku Future Tone. I saved a whopping £4. Okay, I traded in my pride for £4, right? Just to get every single fucking song that this game had to offer, because the gameplay of Hatsune Miku has always been very addictive, I think, and even though I kind of appreciate the sort of like music and character side as opposed to it being an actual game, you know, it was still wonderful to go for all these songs again. So I traded in my credibility of not buying season passes for Hatsune Miku, and I hope she's happy. Anyway, so yeah, Hatsune Miku Future Tone is number 4. Now, number 3, sorry. Okay, if any of these entries is cheating, okay, at least in terms of whether you can consider it was Sega who actually did it, this is definitely the most cheatiest right here. But hear me out, hear me out. Number 3 is Persona 5, okay? And I know what you're thinking. Wasn't Sega, it was Atlas, okay? Sure, Sega and Atlas are now like Mega Pally now, they're both owned by the same company. But this is kind of like my way of thinking about it, right? When it was first announced that Sega had bought Atlas, I was actually kind of like, really? Like, Atlas is a wonderful developer, I like them quite a lot, but I don't know, it just seems such a weird thing for them to do like a good few years ago. And like, I remember at the time all the like Sega websites that I would like visit all suddenly started talking about like Atlas games and Atlas news, and I just remember thinking, I don't want to hear this, and then you know, just stuff like that. But I feel like this year their partnership has really like taken hold almost. Like, for example, Shin Megami Tensei 5 just got revealed as that Shin Megami Tensei Nintendo Switch game, and you know, you look at the logo, just right there next to Atlas is Sega's like copyright right at the bottom. You know, it's like, it's very much Sega's definitely 100% attached to this stuff now, as they were like attached to this. Sure, they didn't develop it, they didn't even necessarily publish it, but they did have a hand in it, okay? But I gotta say, right, even more so than like their involvement on this game particularly, one thing that Sega did do in 2017 that absolutely deserves some mega props, I guess, is that they finally got Atlas to get their thumb out their fucking arse and establish a European division, okay? That's something you will hear a lot of Europe people who are into Atlas RPGs moan about, is the fact that Atlas has never had a European division and we always have to wait for other publishers to fucking publish their games. Persona 5 was actually the very first game, okay, that got a worldwide release, that released in Europe simultaneously, okay? And I think that's because Sega was attached to it, you know? It might not have been the case, I wasn't there, I wasn't in the meeting rooms, I don't know. But, you know, Sega is there now, and Sega is there helping them get this European division up off the ground, and I'm fucking excited. So, yeah, Sega, thank you for, like, you bought Atlas, and as far as I'm concerned, you're looking after them. So, yeah, in any case, Persona 5, number 3 on this list, so joy. And number 2 is, we were just sort of talking about it earlier, of course, Sonic Mania. Now, again, I can maybe hear some people saying that that's cheating, that this wasn't actually made by Sega, it was made by Christian Whitehead, as well as like Headcanon and Pogo West, is it Pogo West Games? I don't know, those studios, anyway. And I would say, yeah, you're absolutely right, he was the one that made this game, it was his love and his passion and his like experience with making Sonic fan games that made this game as wonderful as it is. But I would also combat that by saying, it's fucking Sonic, you know? Sega and Sonic, you know, Sega put the game out, obviously, like, backed Christian Whitehead to make it. Yeah, it's a Sega game as well, you know? And a wonderful Sega game at that, you know? I actually have so much that I want to say about Sonic Mania. Especially, like, in comparison to Sonic Forces. I'll probably go into that when I do this, like, Sonic Forces video in the future or whatever, you know? But let it just be said that I beat Sonic Mania like 10 times, you know? I have no idea what game over looks like. I know some people complained about the game's saving system. I always beat the game with like 20 lives, so take that for what you will. But yeah, Sonic Mania, there's not really too much else to say on it, really. I hope it's getting that physical release on the Switch, by the way. I totally want to buy that. So, yeah, that's Sonic Mania, number 2. And number 1, if you are in any way familiar with this fucking channel, this is completely fucking obvious. Yakuza. Not one Yakuza game, but 2 Yakuza games in 2017. This is Yakuza Kiwami, the remake of the second one, which just came out a month or 2 ago there. In the beginning of the year, we got Yakuza 0, which was the next like proper numbered one in the series. My friend currently has it, I only have this one right now. But yeah, Yakuza. You all know how much I fucking love Yakuza, right? Imagine how I feel that in 2017, with the release of Yakuza 0 that Sega just puts out there, all of a sudden I'm hearing everybody's fucking playing Yakuza. To the point that Sega's like, quickly let's put this out, quickly let's put out Yakuza 6 next year and Yakuza Kiwami 2, which only got made because the game Yakuza 0 did so well over here, you know? It's like, holy shit, Yakuza is now a franchise outside Japan, you know? It's like, I love it. I fucking love it. I'm so, like, it's so weird to say, but I'm overjoyed that Yakuza, for the very first time really, has like just really picked up in the West, you know? You can almost make the argument that it did with like Yakuza 3, because that one did like really well, but it was met with a lot of like hate because they like censored a bunch of stuff. They didn't censor anything with like newer entries. And even though I love Yakuza 3 a lot, I know that it's always had that sort of shadow lurking over it. It was like a really big censored game, you know? But we now live in a world where we got 2 Yakuza games this year, we're getting 2 Yakuza games next year. It's funny because Yakuza's milked as fuck. In Japan at least, right? They're probably fucking sick of Yakuza. They probably think of Yakuza like over here you would think of like Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty, you know? That's what Yakuza is in Japan, but to me, here, it's like one of the most epic games I've ever played, with a character that I love to death, and just like, yeah, I fucking love Yakuza. Hence why it's number 1. I actually haven't even fucking played this yet. Because if I'm being honest, I'm not that big a fan of Yakuza 1, and this is the remake of Yakuza 1. And I kinda can't be arsed sitting through that story, like again, despite the fact that I know it's been like remade for the PS4. It's gonna have like all the stuff from Yakuza 0 that I would love to like go through again, but I'm sure it's inevitable that I'll get to it. You know, probably before Yakuza 6 comes out next year, and yes, I do have that big fucking collector's edition pre-ordered. So, yeah, that's that video, guys. A bit fanboy, not gonna lie, you know, I'm not trying to kiss Sega's arse or whatever. I'm sure that there'll be many times for them to fuck up. There was even a few fuck-ups this year. I didn't like Sega forever. Oh, fucking Valkyria Revolution, you fucked that up, Sega, okay? So don't think that I'm kissing their arse completely. And, oh god, Sonic Forces better be good, okay? I'm kind of confident they will be, considering what I've seen, but you never know until it's in your hands, so yeah. That's that, guys. See you after. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.